I'm a competent human being. Hi, welcome to Dead Good Book Reviews and to a brand new reading vlog here on the channel. I'm Judith and this is reading vlog number 12, I believe. I'm actually Judith from Saturday, so I'm going to give you a bit of a warning. I looked a bit rough on Monday morning of this week, so I filmed a new introduction. Welcome. I hope you'll enjoy this look into everything that I'm reading this week. It's a good week, I'm just saying. Yeah, it is Monday the 15th of March today. We are halfway through March. When did that happen? I don't understand. But yeah, I am continuing my trend of reading whatever the heck I want. And if you watched last week's vlog, you will know that at the moment, whatever the heck I want is the Spellslinger books by Sebastian Castiel. And I always say Castiel, de Castel, I think. I have finished the first one. That was the reading I did over the weekend. I finished the first one of that and really enjoyed it. It was a really good time. And I've already started the second one. I think I'm about 60% of the way through that. That's going. I'm hoping to finish that today. I think I then have the third one on Kindle as well. I hope. And then I'm just going to keep going through them really in order. That makes sense. And then I will probably read the prequel. So it's going to be that kind of a week, I think. The other thing I need to pick up is the Gilded ones, because that is Space Sirens Book Club for next month, but I'm happy to be a bit flexible on that one. And as I say, we're only in the middle of March. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not looking at all those Animorphs books that I need to read, film, script, all of that stuff. I'm not looking at them. It's fine. I've made promises I may not be able to keep. It's fine. Other things that happened this weekend that were nice. I had the Space Sirens Book Club live for a memory called Empire. We had a really good time on that one. I will link that below. And then we had Angela over at Literature Science Alliance's book club, which was very good fun. We were talking about Remote Control by Nnedi Okorafor, which is fantastic. If you haven't read that, definitely go for it. So yeah, it was a bookish weekend, but it was also a lot of personal stuff going on this weekend, which was the most draining thing that's happened to me probably in a year, which is intense. Never mind. So I'm a little bit fuzzy today, but I am powering through. It is another week. There are books to be read and angry squirrel cats to appease. So a slightly more conscious Judith of another day is going to talk about the Spellslinger series as a whole. I'm hoping. Here's hoping to that. Hi, happy Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. Who can believe it? What? Since when? I want to address the fact that I am wearing a beautiful crochet crown that my friend Risha made me because it's amazing and it gives me Christmas cracker hat, Statue of Liberty, Forest Queen energy. And I'll take that. Those are three things I enjoy. Well, like the Statue of Liberty, I don't have strong feelings about her either way. But Christmas cracker hats and forest queens, I'll take it. And just knitwear in general makes me happy. Reading updates, I have one. I have found myself in recent vlogs struggling to update you with things because really I won't have done any reading, but I have done some reading. I finished Spellslinger 1. I finished Shadow Black, which is the second one. They're called like Spellslinger : but Shadow Black. Finished it, had a great time. Had a fun time with it, and I am about 70 or 80% of the way through the third one, which I believe is called Charmcaster. They're one of those ones, they all have kind of slightly similar titles, but I will almost certainly finish that today. So we are on track. I am feeling very, again, the power of the crown, I'm feeling very empowered about it all. It's good. I'm really enjoying getting my teeth stuck in, and it's silly things like, I don't know, so Charmcaster came out in 2018, and I think I finished the series either last year or the year before I read to the end. But I never really registered how certain elements of the story worked, and I think I wasn't picking up on a lot of the references that it makes because I just was in that mood of like, I must just churn through books as quickly as possible. And like, how was I allowed to review these? I didn't take in any of it. What ludicrousness. But there's just things like, so this isn't a spoiler, by the way. I know I'm on book 3, but this isn't a spoiler. So he's a Spellslinger, the main character, so he has one spell that he can use, and basically that spell is that he combines two powders from his pockets that when they combine they do a explodey thingy, but he channels that with his spell that's breath magic as well, and he does the whole spell and it's wonderful. And it talks about the somatic shapes you have to make. I think the word is somatic, I honestly can't remember, but it's along the lines of that, you know, you have two fingers pointing forward for the direction, you have two fingers pointing backwards because of another symbolic reason, and then your thumb pointing to the sky to honour the ancestors. And the first time I read it, I didn't do this, and I don't know if anyone else does the thing where you'll do the thing that something says in the book. Like if it's, she tilted her head to one side, I will be reading the book going, Like, that's a thing that I do. So I was doing the shape along with it. So yeah, 2 fingers out for direction, and then 2 fingers back, and then the thumb up. And I was like, oh my God, he's doing finger guns. I cackled. It was so good. So yeah, I feel like I'm reading this series for the first time, because also I can't remember how it ends, so that's always nice. What I do remember is that the 4th book was my favourite, I believe, so I'm excited to get to that one, but to do that I have to finish the 3rd one. Other than that, I don't think there's any other bookish news. To my knowledge, there is not. I'm having a good week this week. Work is so... I've like crossed the threshold of the door of I am too busy. So I'm so far into that room now that I'm just sort of living in it. Like, I'm on a tide of busyness and there's nothing I can do about it, so I just have to do my best. I've accepted that. It feels good, to be honest. I've washed my hands of trying to be perfect, and I'm just trying to do my job as best as I can, and that's all I can do. And when things are a bit calmer, I can assess, and that will be good. Right. I look like I'm at a Christmas party. I'm absolutely obsessed. Right, I'm gonna go. If you can't handle me at my I just went for a run and I can't be asked to dry my hair, then you can't deserve me at my best. Or some quote like that. That's what I'm dealing with today. Hello, happy Thursday. It's Thursday lunchtime-ish. Reading updates. I feel like this is going to be a really boring vlog because I am just powering through a series. I have finished book 4 of Spellslinger. When would I have last spoken to you? Had I finished book 3 at that point? I don't know. Basically, I finished book 4. And then I have also finished book 5. So I only have one left. I haven't even started it yet, but I do have to finish Crownbreaker, which is a fairly beefy one, but that's my job for the evening. I'm really enjoying this series though. I think book 4 is probably still my favourite just for how it shakes up the format. Book 5 is the darkest so far in terms of themes, and I will say that this book does go into sexual assault kind of stuff. And in fairness, it is a theme sort of from the beginning, but it gets more into it in book 5 and things get a little bit more muddy, which is interesting to read, and I think the book handles it reasonably well. It's just, if you're not interested in reading books where that happens, then that wouldn't be where I would go with this one. But so far I am loving it. I can't remember how it ends, and that's exciting and good, and I like that. I think I'll be really interested to see how the prequel is, you know, because I can't remember who it was, and it might have been Neil Gaiman, but was talking about how prequels kind of suck because you can't take characters anywhere where they need to get to because you have to have this everything resolved to the point they are at the start of book 1. But because the sequel is about one of the side characters, or the prequel even is about one of the side characters, I think it should be pretty good because her character is sort of set-ish at the start of the books. I don't know. I'm interested to see how it goes. So I've got to get through the 6th one. And what I will say is, when it clicks what was holding you back and what was setting you slumpwards, and you can kind of move forward from that, oh, it's such a good feeling and I love it. And it's really evident sometimes that you're like, oh, this is what's been bothering me. And I think for me it was bothering me that I hadn't planned in when I was going to read them, and I didn't know when that video was going to come out and all of that stuff. So it's really good, and I'm definitely feeling like I'm getting my good reading energy back, and that's always nice. And maybe I'm just on the endorphins of my run or something, but I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm going to continue on with that. I don't know what I'm going to do with this vlog. I think I'm just going to have to call it like binge reading a series. But yeah, very much enjoying. There we go. And lo, she did on Friday finish Crownbreaker. Had I finished the 4th one last time I spoke to you? The 5th one? I don't know. Anyway, I finished the series. Hi, happy Friday. I'm a competent human being. Finished, done. I really like this ending. I think purely because of the postscript, which in my copy comes after the acknowledgements, because I like the way that Sebastian de Castell ends everything. But if I didn't have that postscript, I think I would have got more annoyed at it. Does that make sense? I do think it's a really good book. I think that part of where I get into an issue with it is there are some moments where you think, where this book started is not where we've ended up, and I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a thing that maybe should have been split out and explored a bit more. I don't know. Some of it just felt like a little bit of a missed opportunity. But for the most part, I have a really good time with the series. It's good fun, it's entertaining, it's not too difficult to absorb, but it does go into some deeper issues. It's some good stuff. I think what I find really interesting is the balancing of power that has to be done across this series, because kind of for the first 3 books, I would say, it's Kellen, the main character, gaining various different kinds of powers and tricks and learning how to use them. And then kind of from there on out, they have to start taking them away or limiting him somehow so that he's not just super powerful all the time. And it's not that he's got world-ending powers or anything, it's just that there are too many things that I think it would probably end up being a plot hole of like, well, why didn't he just use this? So I think that's really interesting, and I think that's probably the bits where it kind of misses the mark for me, is maybe you gave him too many cool powers and should have maybe had other characters have cooler powers or something like that. That's kind of where I am. But I do hugely enjoy it. And now, do I go straight into reading The Way of the Argosy, or do I read something else? I think I'm just going to go straight into it. I think, like, the idea of having read all of the books in 1 week really appeals to me as a completionist. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to at least start it today and move into through tomorrow, or words that make sense to that effect. And after that, I don't know what I'm going to read. I think I might prioritise reading Gilded Ones and Girl, Woman, Other next week, maybe. And then also the Robin Hobb that I'm meant to have read this month that I've not even started. That probably ought to happen, because that's like a 35-hour audiobook that I have not begun yet. Never mind. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about my reading this week. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully that's coming through in these check-ins. If you're not at all interested in the Spellslinger series, this can't have been a particularly interesting vlog for you to this point. I wish I had something else I could tell you about, but I really don't. That's what I've been doing, is I've been reading. Cool. Saturday Judith again. Hello. I hope that you've enjoyed this foray into my reading week. I have got to 50% of the way through Way of the Argosy, which is the prequel, and I'm very much enjoying it. I had like you just have like a bit of a kind of moment in the first couple of chapters where it talks about spirit animals, and I was like, I think we probably could have found a different word for that doesn't draw from an actual thing that is hugely mistaken and taken by other cultures. I feel like there was other wording we could have used, but we've not mentioned that too much so far, so I'm hoping that we can ignore that and move past it and not worry too much about it, other than that initial kind of cringe moment. But the actual plot I'm enjoying. It's really interesting. It's written in first person from this character's perspective, and I don't think I like being in their perspective of them before the full Spellslinger series. I think I've realised what I actually want is a spin-off adventure of this character. I don't necessarily want her backstory. I think it's nicer left open. That's not to say that the book isn't good. It's just, if you're going to write me a book from this character's perspective, why would you choose a moment where they aren't cool and aren't particularly funny? And maybe we're getting to that point now, around about the 50% mark, but I can't say yet. And I wanted to close out the vlog rather than waiting for another couple of hours for me to finish that. I will say it's been hugely rewarding reading this series this week. I've really enjoyed it. I've had a genuinely great time. I think I've said the words really enjoyed far too many times in this vlog, but it's the truth. I have. It's felt easy to read, it's felt enjoyable, there we go again, it's felt engaging. I really love the character growth of Kellen, the main character, from book 1 through to book 6, and experiencing that across the course of a week is really powerful. And these books did come out very close together. I think it was across the span of like 2 or 3 years, 6 books released. Ridiculous. But reading them back to back, you really get that character arc, and it's very much a good time. So obviously I will do a full review for this series, and probably a separate review, either written or as a video, for Way of the Argosy. But because that's not coming out for many weeks at this point, probably we're talking like May or June, all I will say is I really think this series is well worth reading if you haven't read them already. I don't think I've spoiled anything for you. Let's hope not. I think that they're very funny. They have excellent references to things. Like, I found a Princess Bride reference in one of the later ones. Loved it. It's irreverent, but also deals with some very difficult themes, which is kind of how I like my way to go. And as somebody who typically doesn't get on with male protagonists, it is a pretty well written male protagonist who gets very introspective and takes a lot of advice from women who take no shit, and I approve of that. So, there's that. Have I read anything else this week? No. Did I still read 5.5 books? Yes, I'll take that. That's such a good win. I'm excited. I have also filmed a nice chatty video for Thursday of next week. If you haven't already subscribed and you do want to hear about various things going on in my life, subscribe, because that will be coming out soon. This bun is unravelling as I speak, so I shall close out now. As I say, please do subscribe. It makes me feel loved and appreciated. You can also follow me on all of my social media. It's all linked in the description below. Comment below. Let me know what you've been reading, what you've been up to. Have you read this series? Did you enjoy it? Are you excited for the prequel? What are your thoughts on prequels in general? I would like to know. And I think that's everything. So that's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. There's gonna be some bloopers now. I think I'm gonna have to make an executive decision that I introduce the vlog on Monday, but if I look more awake on a different day's vlog clip, I will introduce it again and just insert that clip later. Because is this not going to make you want to click away immediately? Hi.